Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!
That's me, Tiberius!
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today, and I am your host, Tiberius Boy! And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a toy executive. Do you have any idea what a toy expert does? Well, neither do I. Let's find out. Let me introduce our next guest, the one, the only, the amazing Genna Rosenberg.
Woohoo! I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And thank you for being on the show. Okay, so you're listed as a toy executive and ideator. Can you explain to us just exactly what do you do?
Well, I do a lot of things. In one part of my job, I help get the toys in the news. So I work with lots of different companies who hire my team and I to make news and noise about all the newest toys. And then I work with other people and we create toys. So we're having ideas about what would make a cool toy, developing them into brands and product lines, and then we're making deals and licensing them to companies to make them for us.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Okay, so what sparked your interest in the toy industry?
Well, I actually fell into the toy industry like a lot of other people that I know. After college, I studied public relations, which is what I just described, getting the toys in the news. And I ended up falling into the toy industry. I worked with someone who hired us to do public relations on his deals. And some of his deals involved making the toys for a preschool property called the Bananas and Pajamas.
Ooh, cool. Okay, so why is play so important to the world?
Wow, I am actually a Genius of Play ambassador with the Toy Association, and play just sparks creativity and helps people of all ages really have fun and expand their minds and learn through experiences, and it's just really such a fun way to stay young and bring a lot of joy to your life.
Okay, well, is play universal from kids to adults?
I would say yes. I mean, we're really seeing so many kids and adults, they're collecting toys, they're playing games, they like to have a water balloon fight, they might like to do art. So I think that there are so many different themes that, we would say kids of all ages would enjoy.
Okay, well, it says that you've worked on a ton of cool brands like Atari, Care Bears, SpongeBob, and even Pokemon. Well, what is the one toy that you loved as a kid?
Oh, as a kid, I loved to play games as a kid, like Monopoly and the Game of Life and ping pong. I still love to play ping pong today. And I also loved my dolls like Cabbage Patch Kids.
Cool. Okay, so what made that toy so special to you?
With ping pong and the games I played, like dominoes and Monopoly, we used to play as a family. So that was really fun. We would play when we had company over. My parents would get in on the game. And it was really a great way for us to connect and laugh and, try to one-up each other, but only, in the spirit of fun.
That's one thing that families do. That is one thing that families do.
Do you guys play games?
Sometimes, we play those big board games where they take hours to play. So,
I love those.
Strategy
Like strategy games?
Yeah, those ones.
What's your favorite one?
Putting me on the fly here. I gotta say, it's this one game called Dune Imperial. It's a pretty fun game that takes around 2 to 3 hours to play, and it's pretty fun.
Cool.
Okay, so what is the best part about being a toy executive?
I think it's so much fun just being thinking about what's going to bring people joy. I love going to trade shows. There's always big costume characters that you get to run into and hug them and take pictures with them. I have a lot of really fun selfies from
Ah,
work events, and that's, I think, one of my favorite parts.
nice. Okay, so it says that part of your work is to get toys in the news. Well, how does that work?
Well, you know what? I try to figure out what are the stories that my clients want to tell. So, for example, if you have a fidget toy, you might be talking about this is a great toy for Christmas as a stocking stuffer for under $5. Or you
Okay.
may tell a different type of media outlet, this is really good because it helps kids calm themselves and self-soothe and release their stress. Or maybe you sold 10 million of them and you want to tell a business story about that. And you want to say, this is the fastest selling toy and here's why. And this is the company and this is the person who invented it. So there's
Oh,
lots of different ways that you can tell a story about the same thing. So we're using tools like press releases, or maybe it's just writing what's called a pitch, an email to a reporter, but really understanding what is that reporter interested in. They might be interested in the entertainment industry, and so
that
then
is
you're not
true,
going to write
yeah.
them about a new arts and crafts item.
Okay. Well, what is that one thing that you think kids should know about the toy industry?
Oh, this is my favorite question. Whatever you love, whatever you're good at, there is a really cool job doing that in the toy industry, because there's 1,000 toy companies in the United States that are members of the Toy Association. And so if you might want to be an accountant or a scientist or love fashion design, or maybe you like communications or social media or be an influencer like you can find a job doing exactly what you do in the toy industry, and it could create a
Okay.
really fun career for you.
Cool. Okay, well, now here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
And we are back here talking with Genna Rosenberg. She also runs a public relations firm called GenCom. Okay, now, Genna, what did you decide to take your skills and turn it into your own business?
You know what? I had a job doing public relations for many years, but I didn't want to just do one thing. I wanted to do lots of different parts of the toy industry. And so I just decided to start my own company and make it all happen.
Nice. Great idea, by the way. Now, what is the most misunderstood part about your business?
Well, I think that it's easy. It's not really easy. I mean, there's a lot of smart thinking that's involved. There's a lot of also great ideas, and it's hard to make them stand out and shine and really create things that are unique. But if you keep trying, you can really hit some big
Yeah,
winners.
it's hard to say no to some ideas, you know? It's hard to earn
Hmm.
a no and to say no. So, no is
Yeah, and
just
you
a
have to
hard word to
really,
feel, you know?
that's right. You have to be really, I think, hard on yourself and challenge yourself to think like, is this really unique? Is it special enough to, you know, make it licensable for someone else to want it?
Mm-hmm.
We've had some great success in that area.
That's true, yeah. Now, you have won a number of awards. Now, what is that one award that you're most proud of?
Well, very recently I was just selected as a finalist for a change maker for diversity and inclusion for the toy industry
Ah,
for the upcoming toy fair. I'm a finalist. I haven't won that award, but I really appreciate that honor and distinction. And the
nice.
licensing industry magazine just named me their inaugural catalyst for change. So I really do strive to be a change maker and make an impact and make our world a better place. So those two are really meaningful to me.
Nice. Now, does it take a lot of training to be a toy expert?
Well, I have been doing this for almost 30 years. So I really have learned so much along the way. And I try to take time out of every day and every week to read industry articles and read about what's going on in our global economy and with sustainability and try to learn new things that can help me in my work.
Okay. Now, what are some of the largest issues that you're seeing affecting the toy industry since COVID?
Oh, since COVID. Well, I mean, for a long time, the factories were shut down in China. Then there were issues at retailers where people were shopping a little bit less. The goods were not being able to come into the United States.
Yeah.
So now the goods finally arrived and there's so much of them. So there's what's called a
Yeah.
backup, and the retailers have a little bit too much inventory on hand. So guess what happens when that happens? They have so much of last year's that they're not buying more for next
Yeah.
year's. So it really creates a little bit of a backlog. I think that's one of the issues right now that happened since COVID.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what is the craziest thing that's happened while you were doing your passion?
Oh, the craziest thing. I guess it's working with some of the biggest brands in the whole entire
Ah.
world. So, a lot of the toys that I grew up with, like Pac-Man and some of the ones you mentioned, like Care Bears and Ghostbusters and Strawberry Shortcake. These are all brands that I just loved as a kid so much. And so it's really amazing to have the chance to get to represent them.
Nice. Okay, so what is the hardest part about working in the toy industry?
I think I always feel like there's not enough time in the day. So I just have so many ideas and so many things I want to do. I think the industry is really fast moving also. So it's kind of making sure that I can get things done quickly enough and not miss a trend.
Okay, now who can you say was the person that helped drive your passion the most?
Well, should we say SpongeBob? That would be a fun one. Let's say SpongeBob.
That is a fun one, actually, yeah. Well, what advice would you give to my listeners if they wanted to grow up and work in the toy industry?
I would say, do it because I think that this is such a fun industry. And essentially, if you bring your passion to the toy industry and you also bring a lens to think about how you can change the world through your work, you really truly can change the world through your work and play. You can make an impact whether you're creating cool packaging, whether you're creating toys that really resonate and bring joy to people, whether you're, creating a great environment with your teammates in the office. You can really do some incredible things. I know you can.
Okay, now what is the best advice that you've ever received?
I think to just believe in yourself. I think it's really easy to second guess yourself, but you know what you know. And you bring really, truly special ideas to every situation. So just having that confidence to believe in myself, that's something that I hope for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, who gave you that advice?
My parents gave me that advice. My parents always told me that they believed in me, that I, should go for my dreams, and that what I had to say was really special. I've
Okay.
also had incredible mentors along the way. I work a lot with a group called Women in Toys, Licensing and Entertainment. And through that group, I've had mentors. Outside of that group, I've had mentors. So I'm very lucky that I've had very smart business people who have really encouraged me along the way. My brother has been an incredible guiding force, my husband. So I surround myself with people who really are positive and believe in me, and it rubs off.
Okay, so what is the very first job that you've ever had?
Well, I babysat, but I also worked in a bank. I think that was the
Ooh.
first job I ever had that wasn't, in someone's house. And I credit my love of playing games to that job because I used to love, like I mentioned, when I used to play Monopoly or the Game of Life, and
Yeah.
I loved counting the money and making money, and I really enjoyed that aspect. Also, working in a bank, the customer service piece where I get to say hello to everyone
That
and
is
bring
true,
some
yeah.
joy to their day, but then count the big stacks of money. I found that really fun.
Yeah, big stacks of money when you see it, you're always happy.
Exactly. It wasn't mine, but it was still
Although
fun to
it's not
count.
yours, it's still cool to see that amount of money.
Yes.
Well, was
Love
there
the
anything
money.
now was there anything you learned from that job that helped you to be a better toy executive?
Well, yeah, I think, working as a team, really being accountable. I was very young. I was in high school when I worked in a bank, but I was responsible for, you know, tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and every penny had to be accounted for. It was a lot of responsibility to show up on a schedule and to make sure that I was, really being communicative and really representing the bank to the whole entire community. And so in a way, that's kind of what my role has been in the industry. I have to communicate and be pleasant and work with everyone and be an
Okay.
ambassador and representative.
Ah, okay. Now, what message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
We need you. We need future leaders of this industry. We need diverse backgrounds, diverse interests. We need forward thinkers. We need to create the future leaders of the toy industry. So
Hmm.
come join us. I wish when I was younger that anyone had ever told me about this cool industry that existed. And it's a $38 billion industry in the US alone and $104 billion worldwide. And there are thousands and thousands of really cool jobs. So think about coming to work in the toy industry.
Huh. Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills. And we are back here with Genna Rosenberg, a toy executive who's also teaching young people about their careers in the toy industry. Okay, so what is that one thing that you wish that you knew before starting your career in the toy industry?
I think that there's so many different jobs and there's so many different ways to make an impact. Like, for example, you can make something cool or you can tell the world about it. You don't have to do one thing.
Okay, well, what was that one thing that happened in your business that you did not expect?
Well, I think that I ended up starting a foundation for a big toy company, and it kind of happened in a fun way. They had some stuff to give away, and I
Ah,
found a way to give it to charity. And then I loved that so much and saw how much joy that it brought to so many thousands of people that then they gave me more. And then I shined the spotlight on them and gave them the credit for it. And then they gave me more. And so I learned about how to really get lots of stuff and help lots of people. And I
okay.
really learned that that brings me a lot of joy too.
Okay, so you're trying to attract more youth into this career path. Well, why is that important?
Well, I think we really need more diversity in the industry. We need younger people to come in because a lot of the toy company is run by older grown-ups. And so it's really important to create pathways to develop future talent and to have them come with intention into the toy industry so that they can run the world and run this industry and as the next generation.
Okay. Well, what are the different types of jobs that are available in this field?
Oh, Tiberius, there are so many. I mean, everything from manufacturing to project management, marketing, communications. You could be a lawyer, you could be a product designer, a product developer, you can create advertising, you could be an influencer like you. You could be the visionary CEO who founds the company. You could be that person's assistant and you can help them, keep the ship running. You speaking of ships, you could be in supply chain and logistics and make sure that the goods come over to the United States, or maybe you're doing sourcing and trying to find ways to make it in the United States. So there's
Okay.
endless roles.
So, can you find toys for me to review?
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Yeah. If you like, you can do unboxing videos, you can do
sure.
toy reviews. 100%.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
It would be to just keep going, make it happen. That you never know what tomorrow is going to bring, but it's going to be better than yesterday.
Okay. Well, what was the biggest mistake you ever made? And how did it change you as a person?
I mean, I've made lots of mistakes along the way, but I would say that each of them really brought me to a better place. I went to a company and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I left a great job to go there. And so that might have seemed like a mistake, but it really ended up that I learned so much from it. I met new people and it ended up being a great stepping stone. So,
Nice.
yeah, I think what might seem like a mistake today is going to really be a new door that opened for you tomorrow.
Okay. So, when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Well, I have two awesome kids, Lenny and Brayden. Lenny just started high school and Brayden is in fourth grade, and a husband. I love to cook. I love to entertain and throw parties and be with my friends. That's really my favorite thing. I love to cook.
Okay. So, do you play video games? And if you do, what is your favorite one?
Okay, so I do. I play Pac-Man, and
Okay.
I like to play Words with Friends, and I play
Well, that's a
Candy
good
Crush
one.
and Candy Crush.
Ah, yes, Candy Crush is always
Yeah,
fun.
some of my
Yes,
old
true.
school favorites were Frogger, Cubert, and Pitfall.
That's good, yeah. Okay, so, what is your favorite book to read that you have not written?
Well, I loved there's a book by this guy named Jeremy Gucci, the Trend Hunter, and he wrote a book called
Uh-huh.
Better and Faster. And he basically talks about if you can connect the dots the way that other people don't, you can grow your business better and faster.
Okay. Okay, now, can you tell me that one story? You know, remember, this is a kid show. That one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I used to work with the WWE, the wrestling group, and I went to WrestleMania every year. And let's just say there were some stories about wrestlers that maybe I shouldn't say.
What?
They were really fun though. It was a fun.
Okay.
It was a fun.
Well, is there anything that you think my listeners should know about you and what you do?
I guess just that I care a lot and trying to make the world a better place through play.
Okay. So, do you have a Facebook or website for my listeners who want to follow you?
Um, yeah, I am on Facebook at Genna Rosenberg. I'm most active on LinkedIn at Genna Rosenberg. So
Okay.
find
Now,
me, connect with me. Happy to
okay.
see you.
Now, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
You want to see a cool toy?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, our company holds 4 patents in the use of memory foam in plush toys. So squishy toys and plush. This is from one of our licensees, and it's a brand called Squeezimals. And this is from one that's based on Miraculous, the new show, the new movie from Zag. So lots of fun. This is a hip hop memory foam toy that looks like a
Nice.
cassette tape. So yeah, so we make memory foam in plush toys.
Huh. Cool. Okay, well, thank you, Jenna, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Jenna, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems, and my dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about saving money. Okay, so Donald wants to buy a bike that costs $165. He has already saved $120. Well, he earns $9 an hour working as a lifeguard and saves all of it for the bike. Well, how many more hours does Donald need to work in order to have enough money to buy the bike? Well, first is a real world problem because we do that. Kids do want things and should learn to save the money for it. Right?
That's right.
Okay, so to solve this issue, you first have to figure out how much Donald needs to save. Well, he does already have $120, and he needs $165, so you just subtract the $120 from the $165, and then you get $45. Well, that's pretty easy, but now that we know how much he has to earn, we can now look at how long it will take at $9 an hour. So to figure that out, we have to take the 45 divided by 9, which is 5, and that means he can have all the money that he needs in 5 hours. If he actually does the work, but that is awesome. Okay, so, Jenna, did you ever have to learn to save for toys and stuff that you wanted?
I did. Yes. That's why I started working, and I got an allowance as a kid by doing chores around the house. And then it's when I started babysitting and then working in the bank. I
That
wanted
makes
to
sense
save
now.
up so I could buy some fun things.
Okay. Well, my teacher said that I would use math every day. Well, how do you use math with your work?
Well, great question. I think about how many hours I work with each of my clients, how much money they're paying me, how much money that ends up being per hour to figure out if my clients are profitable. When we're inventing toys, we think about how much are they going to cost to make, how much can we sell them for, and how much profit will we make on them, and lots of other ways too. When we're
Okay.
shipping products to unboxers to do unboxing videos, we have to figure out how much is it going to cost us and is it worth it?
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jenna, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. Well, this week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is that act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. So this week, I remember back when we had a hurricane hitting Florida. They had to cancel the middle school retreat, and so the kids thought could be safe and with their families during the storm. This means everyone was out on the event that was happening, and the teachers at the school worked very, very hard to find a date to reschedule the event so that it would not be canceled for the whole year. Well, 2 weeks later, we had an awesome event with fellowship, and that was a great example of organization and being a positive influence on the students. So, Jenna, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
Yeah. Have I seen leadership at all?
Or used it?
Yes. Well, I do try to use leadership in the class that I'm teaching at University of Maryland with my
Huh.
students this week. Yes.
Okay. So, Jenna, of all of the Heart of Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
I do love the virtue of leadership and being courageous leadership and brave leadership.
Okay. Well, we should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Yes.
And that is our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Genna Rosenberg for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking about today. I think we can learn a lot about the toy industry and the exciting careers that are available.
Thanks, Tiberius. I had a great time. You rock.
No problem. And do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Sure. You can find me on LinkedIn at LinkedIn/Genna Rosenberg or on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. And also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, KINT 98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easyway TV, and all the other stations that air on my show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Jenna, are you subscribed yet?
I am. Good job, dude.
Thank you. Oh, and be sure to leave a comment and say if you want to learn more about the toy industry. I answer all of the comments myself. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.